She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. We are very blessed that you decided to join us today. You're going to be glad that you joined us today, because if you do not have a financial vision, you will by the time we're done. You might be asking yourself right now, what in the world is a financial vision? Like, what are you talking about, Dani? Well, I know you probably have heard the statement, a man without a vision will perish. A man without a vision will perish. What's your vision? Do you have one for your finances? It could be why your finances are perishing, because you do not have a financial vision. You have to have a financial vision. If you don't, surely your finances are going to perish. That was us. It was. I grew up on welfare, pregnant at 17, homeless at 21, and millionaire by 23. Today, multi-millionaire, owner of several companies, mother of 5, grandmother of 8. Shocking. Who gives 100% of the profits from our business to the extreme poor around the world, taking no salary. So if you would like to learn how to fix your finances, as we've had to learn how to fix ours. You see, our first 10 years of making millions of dollars, we spent it foolishly. We were idiots. We literally had no financial education. We grew up on welfare. My husband and I both did. And we were repeating a cycle. The more money we made, the more in debt we went. In fact, at one point, we had nearly $1 million worth of debt, and that was suffocating. In fact, I wanted to die. That pressure of that debt, the pressure of the big dream house. You see, I bought the so-called American dream. And the American dream seems to be financed through the bank, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, and American Express. And that's what we did. And so here we had a crazy amount of car debt, crazy amount of credit card debt, crazy amount of line of credit debt, and a humongous mortgage. All of it was tearing us apart. We were not the parents we wanted to be. We were not the husband and wife that we wanted to be. And yet on the outside, we looked like we had it all, right? We had the 4 cars with 2 drivers. We had the nearly 6,000 square foot house with the white picket fence on the top of the mountain looking at the backside of Yosemite National Park. I had a $250,000 wardrobe, not to mention the $250,000 worth of jewelry. That the money we made, we spent it all, and we spent some of other people's, not some, almost $1 million of other people's money as well. The price was too high. We began to learn about how to create wealth. We learned through our mistakes, and we happened to learn from a few different people, like an old mentor of my husband's when he was a child, who was financially independent. He helped to guide us in real estate and how to make money in real estate. We've made millions of dollars in real estate. We've made millions of dollars in business, and we were the unlikely kids to succeed. I dropped out of high school while I was pregnant with my first child. My husband barely finished high school. We were not educated. We did not go to college. I couldn't even read, my friends. In fact, I didn't read my first book till I was 21 years old and homeless. So if my husband and I can learn some simple little strategies, simple little skills on how to turn our finances around and begin to accumulate wealth, we're talking from the bottom of society and the worst of all statistics to living in that 2% of financial independence. We would love to show you how to do the same exact thing, and that's what we're going to be talking about today on the Dani Johnson Show. If you're listening from the Truth Network, welcome to this radio show. If you're listening on or watching on television, the UA Network, we welcome you to watch us each and every day and listen every single day. We're here every day helping you to succeed. We're about defying society's success definition, and we're about recalibrating the society into understanding that success is by your definition. What does that look like for you? Does that look like having a healthy, strong, great family who knows how to communicate with each other, loving each other, enjoying being with each other? Or is that being a multi-millionaire who has a family that hates you and you're lonely and you hate life? You end up dying to a drug addiction. painkiller addiction, as we see so many celebrities ending their own lives because their life sucks. All the fame and all the fortune is not success. Success needs to be defined by you, so stop chasing somebody else's dream, create your own and follow it. So we're going to start with the financial part of your life, because finances is a part of your life. You cannot survive without it. You can't live without it. You can't function in life without it. You won't have a roof over your head without money. You won't have food on the table without money. You don't have clothing on your body without money. There's a lot of things in your life that you cannot do if you don't have money. So finances is an important part. It's not the most important part. It's not the part that should consume your life. It needs to be somewhere near the bottom of the priorities of your life. First, in my opinion, God, then your marriage if you're married. If you're not, wow, you have a lot of time on your hands to go find one, to go find a spouse. From there, your children, okay? From there, your family, your work life is at the bottom of the list. And then your finances. And if you keep those priorities in line, you keep your focus like that, everything begins to flourish really, really well. But we're going to talk about that lower priority of money, the lower priority of your finances, and how to create wealth. That's what we're talking about today. So we've actually opened up our phone lines today. We've made ourselves available to you to call in if you have questions about finances, you don't have a financial vision, you want help coming up with a financial vision. How do you actually do that? We're willing to help you today on the Dani Johnson Show. So right now, we have got Greg Embers from Louisville, Kentucky, that wants to talk about his finances. So, Greg Embers, what is your financial vision?
Well, Danny, prior to coming to First Up to Success, my financial vision and goal was to pretty much have, 50 acres of land and this big, huge house, and all these fancy, nice cars. But after leaving First Up to Success and, seeing a 9-year-old girl raise almost $20,000 to give back to the poor, that truly changed my vision.
Wow.
But right now, where I am is as far as I was speaking with someone, and they were saying, how to reach your financial goals faster was to, do a credit repair company or such thing like that. So I really just wanted to kind of ask you a question as far as that. What do you think would be a smart thing to do?
Well, Greg, it's a great question. It's a great question. And if I believed in credit, credit consolidation, is that what you're talking about? Because that's usually what credit repair people do. Is they just basically consolidate all of your loans. They basically buy all of your loans, and they make money on the interest by taking all of your debt. They pay off all your debt, and then you just pay them, right? So which means you're not paying off your debt. You just changed who owns your debt. To be honest with you, if I really believe that, I would teach that. And I'm pretty sure if you went to First Steps to Success, you didn't hear me say, go to a credit repair and debt consolidation house to pay off your debt. I don't believe in it. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea at all. However, there is some good information out there about repairing your credit. I bought my first house on really bad credit. Just so you know. A year after I was homeless, Greg, I bought my first property. I bought a $250,000 condo in a gated community on a lake in the San Francisco Bay Area. That was my first purchase. I was 22 years old when I bought that house. Okay? And so credit, now let me ask you, who has told you that your credit really matters?
Great question. Really,
Society. But who's the one who sold that message? The banks. The people that sell debt have sold you that you have to have perfect credit. But if you were to study millionaires and billionaires, they do not have perfect credit. In fact, many of them have declared bankruptcy at least twice before they made their first million. So as they were reaching the places of financial independence, they do not have good credit. Credit is not something that they've worried about. They don't care about their credit score, and they didn't care about it as they were building their wealth. And so, but that is actually a ploy to get you to go into debt. And so it's a scam. The whole credit score thing, it's a joke. Cash is king. And at the end of the day, people with bad credit are given loans every single day. People who have declared bankruptcy multiple times are given loans every single day. So if you've got bad credit, I don't want you to be so concerned that you would actually go sell your debt to someone else that's going to charge you interest for all of it, okay? It's a total scam. Do you understand? Can you see that? Let's say that you have 5 different credit cards, right? And you have 5 different debts with 5 different people. The Joe Schmo credit repair guy is telling you, here, I will go ahead and fix your credit by buying. I'm going to pay off all 5 of those credit cards, and now you're going to pay me the 18.9% interest rate. He's selling debt. He's going to make money on your debt. He's taking the money that the other 5 credit card companies were making on your debt, and he's now taking that money. Do you understand?
Yes. And, Danny, we actually, what my wife and I decided to do, we hadn't took that action.
Mm-hmm.
So what we did is we cut down our overhead, moved
Yes.
in in-laws so we can cut down on debt.
Yes.
That's the reason we did it.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
Absolutely. That was the wisest thing you guys could have done. And just make sure you guys stay diligent on that. That moving in with your wife's parents is to make sure that your money is going towards your debt. Attack it as fast as you can. And I believe attacking the lowest one first so that that's done. You feel better about yourself. You have more confidence. And then go after the second one and make sure that you're putting all of that money that you're saving by not having those high expenses anymore. Make sure you attack 100% of that debt. Cut up the credit cards and never go back to that place again. I'm really, really proud of you for not going for the credit repair thing. That's really, really wise. The other thing I wanted to tell you is that there's lots of ways to repair your credit if that is something that's super important to you. It's not important to me, and it has never been important to me. When I went to buy my first house, I negotiated with the people that I owed money to. I negotiated with them. Some of them I owed $10,000. Some of them I owed $4,500. And I negotiated. I said, listen, if you want any amount of money, here's what I'm willing to do. I owe you $4,500. Are you willing to take $3,000? At first they said no. I said, fine. Well, I'm going to find one of my other creditors that are willing. They're going to get the cash. You're not. So then I gave him another chance, and I kept persisting and negotiated, and I ended up having to pay far less debt, and their negotiation was, you have to take this off my credit. And they did. So by the time everything was said and done, I had no bad marks on my credit score. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Is our economy rigged against you? Find out what the multi-millionaire has to say about it next on The Dani Johnson Show.
The whole story of how I went from homeless to millions is right here in this book, First Steps to Wealth. I'd love to give you a free copy of this book. Just dial 888-757-8880. You can get your free copy of this book. It's like a real book, my friend. You can get an ebook copy for free right now, or if you'd like to pay the shipping to get this $15 book to your house, I'd be happy to send it to you. 888-757-8880. Get your copy of First Steps to Wealth today and begin on a brand new path of some great success. Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
It's time for a checkup from the neck up. This is The Dani Johnson Show.
The system is completely rigged. Yes, the financial system is completely rigged. Our school system is rigged. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. Today we're talking about a financial vision. We're talking about your money. We're talking about generational wealth. And we're talking about how you can become debt-free and no longer live under society's thumb, telling you that the way to success is Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, as well as all those department store cards. Their version of success is you taking out a loan on your car, the worst decision you could ever make. Society's decision for your finances is to take all of your money at 18.9%, enticing you to buy things you do not need nor even wanted it before you even learned about the thing, so that you can have it now, the thing you never needed now, and they are going to make money from it. You've got to open your eyes, my friend, and you have to see the traps that are set before you. The system is rigged to rob your family of generational wealth. The system is rigged to keep the people in poverty. It's rigged to keep people in fear. And why? Because fearful people are easy to control. What is your financial vision? If you do not have a financial vision, your financial life will perish. You need to have a vision bigger than paying your bills on time every single month. That's part of the rigged, scammed system. You should not put yourself in debt. And if you are in debt, you need to pay off your debt. I grew up on welfare, pregnant at 17, homeless at 21 with $35,000 in debt and $2.03 to my name. But by 23, I was a millionaire, multi-millionaire in my early 20s. Today, multi-millionaire, mother of 5, grandmother of 8, who gives 100% of the profits and salary straight to those who are extremely, extremely poor in this country and around the world. Why? There are financial laws. I learned these financial laws a short time ago, 15 years ago. I made millions my first 10 years, and we spent it all, and we ended up with 7 figures in debt. After those 10 years and suffering from a heart attack and a nervous breakdown, I realized this is not working. This is not worth it. This is a stupid way to live. 6,000 square foot house, 4 cars. Stupid way to live. $250,000 clothing. $250,000 worth of jewelry. Stupid. Buying all these crazy expensive gifts for my so-called friends. Stupid. Showing that I made money and living paycheck to paycheck. No matter if we made $5,000 a month, we spent $5,000. If we made $50,000 a month, we spent $50,000. If we made $300,000 a month, we spent $300,000. This was stupid. I encourage you, my friend, you can learn. You can have a financial vision that does not bring stress into your life. You can have a financial plan that does not destroy your marriage. You can have a financial life that does not neglect your children. There is a way to succeed. And I'm sorry to say, the first 10 years I was dumb financially. But the last 16 years, we figured some things out. Oh, we've still made some mistakes in the last 16 years, no question. But even in our leanest years over the last 16 years, we still have been able to accumulate wealth. And our desire here at the Dani Johnson Show is for you to do the same. That you would become dynamically successful. Maybe the very first one in your entire family to be financially independent. Maybe you are going to be the very first one that's going to be able to train up your children to manage wealth after you have left this earth. Maybe you will be the first one to not live under the stress and pressure of debt. Maybe you will be the first family member that would have taught your children not to go into debt, to not live under the yoke, the bondage, the slavery, the torment, the dictatorship of debt. But that your family, your children, would be a debt-free family, living with peace of mind, peace in your soul, peace in your finances. Maybe you will be the family that is not a slave to money. You will be the first generation in your family that's not a slave anymore, and that you don't work for money, but that money works for you. Maybe you'll be the first in your family that will be financially literate, where that you have a good command of an understanding of the financial laws and how they work, and you use them to your benefit. Maybe you will be the one in your neighborhood that people come to and ask for financial advice. Maybe you will be the one. Imagine being the one in the family that people come to and say, how? Please show me. Please tell me. I've messed this up. Maybe that's who you will be. What is your financial vision? If you don't have one, everybody else's financial vision is to get your money and your family's money. You better start coming up with one, and coming up with one now. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more after this.
Be sure to tell a friend about the Dani Johnson Show. It just might be the key to the breakthrough they need. Stay right here for more of the Dani Johnson Show.
This is your chance. This is your shot. Get your copy of War on Debt right now. There's one waiting for you that has your family's name on it. And inside that package is freedom. Your family's freedom is on the inside of that package. All you have to do is open it up, press play, and start applying what I teach you in this program. 888-757-8880. You and I are going to help your family become completely debt-free in the next 5 to 7 years. Just imagine how that's going to feel.
My name is Andres and I'm from Latvia. Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, I was a struggling English teacher back home. I had a language school that I started when I was 21 and had grown it to be pretty okay in my city. But at the same time, I had acquired a debt of $60,000. In a matter of 8 to 9 months, I got rid of my debt. And by 2011, we had our first $1 million year. This has been amazing. We grew our school from about 100 students to 2,000 students, and I can only highly recommend for you to come to the next event and be part of this community and learn the tools that will help you to succeed.
Prior to plugging into DaniJohnson.com, my family and I were hemorrhaging under the pressures of debt. Since attending First Steps to Success in January of 2014, my family and I have paid off over $147,000 in 19 months. We're completely consumer debt free. We have restored relationships, and our business is growing at a rate of 15% at every event. Your next step is to sign up for the next First Steps to Success and start creating your own story.
My name is Jeff Conyers, and prior to First Steps to Success, I was a struggling business owner. I had discovered that my business account went negative $5,000, and I realized that I did not have a business plan and I needed to do something. Fast forward to 1 year after, I have now created, just by implementing the tools at First Steps to Success, over $50,000, created another business, improved my personal and business relationships. Man, it's like the story is forever changing, and it just gets better and better. I don't know about you or what you're going through, but I would highly recommend getting to First Steps to Success.
Prior to plugging into First Steps to Success, we were drowning under a mountain of debt. We were heading to divorce court. We had failing businesses and toxic relationships. Since plugging into First Steps to Success, our marriage has been restored. We have paid off over $56,000 in 11 months. We've helped our community pay off over $300,000 in 14 months. My business has grown in over 600% in 4 months. And for the first time, I could say I'm just loving life. I have great relationships. So if you are fine where you are, then this event is not for you. But if you're ready to reach your goal and to change your life, then I highly recommend that you get registered for the next event.
Hi, my name is Jill Kearns. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Prior to coming to First Steps to Success, my husband and I were struggling financially and were hurting in our relationship a lot. We needed more time together, and we just were struggling with that because of the finances. And so since plugging in, we've actually paid off over $280,000 in debt. We're completely debt-free, and more than anything else, the look on my husband's face of relief and excitement about where our future lies, and the traveling and the fun, enjoyable times that we'll get to spend together as a family is totally worth it. So if you want to have better relationships with your significant other, your children, if you have a desire to be completely debt-free and released from that bondage for whatever reason, whatever the burdens are, Your next step is to get to First Steps to Success right now.
So prior to getting started to DaniJohnson.com, I was a college dropout. I was working a bottom of the barrel type job. I started plugging into her training. I've skyrocketed through the ranks of corporate America. I've tripled my income in the last 5 years. That's all fine and dandy, but it wasn't, there's a part of me that had a part missing. So I ended up using Dani's prospecting skills, and I ended up meeting the love of my life. Since then, we've paid off $32,000 of debt since October 2014. So get here now. This is the greatest thing ever. You have to see this. The skills and strategies Dani teaches are unbelievable. They totally took someone like me with no education and helped me just like multiply my efforts. So you need to be here.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
We have to turn this ship around. This financial ship is a Titanic, and we know what the outcome is. Listen, we can't wait for our politicians to turn around. They professionally want you to stay in debt. They want us to be enslaved financially. Why? Fearful people are easy to control. Our governors of our states, our mayors of our cities, they don't care about you getting out of debt either. They have a very skewed idea of what it takes to have a strong people and a strong economy. But in my personal and professional opinion, I believe that a debt-free family is a strong family. A family who has a financial vision and following it on a monthly basis is a strong family. Is a family that is setting the example and is not living in fear, is able to make their own decisions. So what is your financial vision? We're going over to the phones. We've got Elaine Arguello from Queens, New York. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. How can we help you today? I can't hear you. Hello, Elaine, are you there? No, for some reason her line. Hello, say hello. You're muted, honey. You somehow have muted yourself. We can't hear you. We go over to Denise Waters from Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Dani, hi. We were talking about not having a vision, and obviously somebody else's vision will end up being yours.
Yep.
And after living in financial crisis for probably most of my life and seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, when I hear the words financial vision,
yes,
I freeze. Like, same thing when I hear, what would you do if there were no, if money was an issue? I freeze. It's like a big blank piece of paper.
Okay, you're right. It is a big blank piece of paper. You are completely right. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Do you have a pen and paper handy?
Yes, ma'am.
If you knew you couldn't fail financially, what would that financial vision look like? Just write the first thing down that comes to mind. What would your life look like if you had a financial vision?
Well, I wouldn't be stressing over money all the time.
Good job. Write that down. So your financial vision is not stressing over money. What causes you to stress over money?
I don't. You're going to kick my butt.
You're so freaking right. Because I don't know, which was about to come out of your mouth, by the way.
No,
hold
I
it.
was going to say I don't have.
Hold it.
Yeah, I don't want to say it.
I don't closes the mind. No matter what you say after I don't, the mind is closed. I don't is the beginning of an excuse, always.
Okay.
I can't, I don't is always an excuse. Okay, so your financial vision would include having enough.
Yes.
So when I asked you the question of what causes stress, right? What causes stress about money? It's actually a really simple thing. Do you know what causes stress about money? You say not having enough. I say it's thinking about not having enough. It's thinking about money all the time is what causes stress about money. That's all. It literally, that's it. What you focus on grows. So when you focus on not having enough money, your stress grows. So when you don't think about not having enough money, you don't have any stress.
Okay.
So this is why the greatest success book ever written said, think on these things. That which is, are you ready? Write these down. Good, noble, pure, praiseworthy. Think on these things. Was money in the equation?
No, ma'am.
Why was money not in the equation of think on these things, that which is good, noble, pure, and praiseworthy?
Apparently it didn't make the list.
No, because money is neither noble, good, pure, or praiseworthy. It's just money. It's like this. Do you sit around and think about a brick all the time?
No.
Why not?
Brick doesn't do anything.
Say what?
Yeah. It's not something it doesn't do anything. I wouldn't focus on it.
Right? So you wouldn't think about a brick all day, right?
Right.
So what's the difference between a brick and money?
What I think the difference is
Exactly. It's the value you put on it. But isn't it just an object?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, look at money. What is it? It's a dirty, filthy piece of paper.
Just a piece of paper.
It's a dirty, filthy piece of paper. Do you realize how many hands have touched it?
Oh, please, don't go there.
Do you realize how many people do not wash their hands after they use the bathroom? My husband tells me all the time, honey, beware of shaking men's hands. They generally do not wash their hands after they use the bathroom. That's what he says. I'm blown away of how many men use the bathroom and just leave the bathroom. Do you know how many men's hands have touched the money?
Ew.
Think about how many hands has touched the cash. It's dirty. It's not even good looking. I mean, if we lived in Europe, we lived in French Polynesia, we lived in Canada, if we lived in the Caribbean, they have gorgeous money. Our money is ugly, and it's filthy, and it's dirty. And right now, it has about the same value as toilet paper because of what our wonderful politicians have done inside of our country. And I'm not talking about just the last 8 years. I'm talking about years and years of disgusting, destructive things they've done with money. So money itself, okay, you really do have a financial vision, sweetheart. You do. Denise, you have a financial vision. Guess what your financial vision is? Stress about not having enough money.
Ouch.
That's your current vision about money. It's in the wrong place of your life. It should be the last priority, okay? That's what it's supposed to be, the last priority. There's other things you should be thinking on that are good, noble, pure, and praiseworthy. Those are great things to think about. So right there, that reduces the stress about money. So having enough. Is having enough money good, noble, pure, and praiseworthy?
I don't know, is it?
I don't know. I think it is, that when you have enough, right? So, but if you focus on not having enough, you're negative, you're depressed, you're sad, you're worried. And that never makes more money come your direction, ever. And it also makes you not value money. See, you have assigned a title to money, not enough. So therefore, that's how money treats you. Not enough.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? We ourselves assign the value to the dollar. Your assignment to the dollar is not enough. But if you were to believe there's always enough and my needs are always met and I am always provided for and there is nothing to worry about, well, now the money has a much higher value. And now you'll treat the money much different. Makes sense.
It does.
So Denise, write your new financial vision because your old one sucks. And your old financial vision has come true many times.
Too many times.
Exactly. So I want you to write it out. What is your new financial vision? What do you do with the money? How do you feel about it? Where does it go? Because you're the one that directs it. Or does it mean you're in debt? Does it mean you're debt free? Okay. How much does it control your life or does it not? These are things to write down. Denise, I'm proud of you. Good conversation. Really good conversation. This is Dani Johnson. We're talking about your money. We're talking about your finances. We're talking about your financial vision. That's what we're talking about today. And by the way, if you want some help designing that, I have a financial book help for you. First Steps to Wealth. I grew up on welfare, badly abused, pregnant at 17, homeless at 21, but millionaire by 23. You want to know how that happened? It's in this book. We'd like to give you a free copy if it's your very first time tuning into the Dani Johnson Show. 866-760-8255. Call the office now. Ask for Nate or Nellie. They're awesome. 866-760-8255. You can get your free copy. You pay the shipping to get it to your house. We will pay for the $15 book to get to your house. 866-760-8255. Get your copy today. It's going to show you how to get out of debt, how to design that financial vision, and how to live a better life. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more about this financial conversation right after this.
It seems like bankruptcy is the only financial vision some people have. Coming up next, Dani has a tip to help you avoid bankruptcy, and it might be the most shocking thing you hear all day. Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First Steps to Success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson. The most common question I get usually are from people who are trying to juggle their life. They've got kids who are involved in all kinds of activities. They've got business or their job, finances, trying to get out of debt, plus all their church activities and all the volunteer activities. And they're pulling their hair out going, how do I juggle this all? Man, I once lived just like that until I learned Time Secrets. Time Secrets showed me how to be able to cut my hours from 100 hours a week that I was working down to 20 hours a week and tripled my income as a direct result with what I learned. Time Secrets also showed me how to get my priorities in order, which healed up my marriage. And I became a mother that I was proud of versus becoming the mother I didn't want to be. And so if you feel like your world is running around in all kinds of different circles, you can fix that. Call 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880 for Time Secrets.
My name's Derek, and this is my wife, Michelle, and we're the Holland Sheds. We live in Covina, California, about 45 minutes from here, and we're extremely honored to be able to share our story. And when we were approached about it, I was kind of thinking, well, where do I start? Where do we start? But I'm going to start a few years back before there was a Michelle and Derek. Actually, I was actually debt-free, and kind of going along pretty good. And then a funny thing happened. I got married, and I married into debt, and okay, we're gonna do fine. We'll pay it off, and life will be good. But a funny thing happened was that didn't seem to happen. Yeah, and as a result, it just kind of thinking it's going to happen, or we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and something always happens, and and the result is debt doesn't get paid. So it starts becoming like an old friend, and then unfortunately the marriage failed, but I was able to meet Michelle, and we got married, and married into debt again. only now it's a little bit bigger, but at least the house that I had, this was during the housing boom, so used some of the equity in the house to pay that debt off, okay, we got a clean state. Let's go forward. And but in our early days in our marriage, we had some difficulty as far as being on the same page financially, and Michelle will share a little bit more about that. And I guess it's a good point for me to hand it over to her.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Like Derek said, honestly, you guys, the first 7 years of our marriage, when I came into our marriage, he paid up my debt all. And I ran our debt up 3 different times in the first 7 years of our marriage, you guys. I would have never imagined being in that spot. Derek didn't trust me. And it finally got to a place where, my gosh, I can't keep doing this. I was pretty much told to come to this event by a good friend of mine, and it was the best thing she could have said to me because it's what I needed. I would have not have come had I not have had that charge and challenge that way. The moment I got here and we saw the war, I saw the war on debt, I said, this is it. This is our ticket. This is what's going to help us go to the next level. This is what's going to help us. You guys, we've since in 33 months, we have paid off over $159,000 worth of debt. We have money in savings. We have $300,000 in assets, income-producing assets. We continue to plug in. I was the first one to come, but immediately afterwards, I told my husband I couldn't wait. I called him. I told him about War on Debt. He immediately said, let's do it. We had some friends that hosted a War on Debt class there right after, and we went to it, and we found $502 worth of excess spending our first month, and we revisited our budget after that, and then we thought we were just broke, living paycheck to paycheck. We were overwhelmed. We felt hopeless. I never would have thought I would lose my husband's trust, and the techniques, the strategies that Dani Johnson teaches you guys helped us save our marriage, our finances, our communication. You guys, we started out with, my favorite product is spiritual equipping, and I know Darren has a favorite product.
We're on debt, and you think?
You guys, we kind of bought things one by one. However, you guys have a great opportunity outside that door, that table out there, where you can buy the whole DJ University curriculum, and you get almost $1,000, over $1,000 off. So you have either option, but that's a great opportunity for you. Don't let anything stop you guys. There is hope, there is life, and I'm very grateful and honored to be here. So without further delay, you guys help us welcome back America's favorite millionaire and our mentor and coach, Dani Johnson.
What multimillionaire do you know that volunteers their time to help ordinary people like you and me? There's only one. And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
Where there is no vision, there is no hope. It's a statement from George Washington Carver. Such a true statement. And I'm here to tell you, without a financial vision, there is no hope. We've been talking about today on today's program about a financial vision. You have one. You just don't like the one you have. So let's design a new one. You know you can do that, right? We're going over to the phones. We've got April Roberts from California. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. What's your financial question, love?
Thanks, Dani. I was just calling to find out if bankruptcy is ever a good option.
That's a great question. How much money are you talking about wanting to declare bankruptcy for?
Not so much personal finances. We had a few bad business deals that we linked to a personal guarantee credit card.
Gotcha.
And the company that owed us money filed bankruptcy.
Okay.
So they didn't owe the money, but we currently still do.
I'm going to ask my question again, April. How much money?
$60,000.
That's nothing, girlfriend. That ain't nothing. Are you kidding me? Today I had a conversation with Tammy. This is crazy. Tammy Zapier from Phoenix, Arizona. She was on my show. This is crazy. 10 months ago, she heard about First Steps to Success, which is our 3-day training seminar, which a 2-hour section of it is about paying off all of your debt in 5 to 7 years, including your mortgage, your cars, your everything, okay? In 10 months, a single woman, who is, by the way, a bill collector, that's what she's been doing for 14 solid years, has paid off, are you ready? Are you sitting down? April?
I am.
She has paid off $457,500 in the last 10 months. She owns her house now outright. All her cars are paid off. She owes nobody nothing. She is completely debt-free in 10 short months. Hello? $457,500. Hello? She's a bill collector. Did you hear what I said?
I heard you.
So to declare bankruptcy for $60,000, that's nothing. $60,000 is nothing. That is so simple to do. I mean, if you told me you got screwed over in a bad business deal, millions of dollars, I would say, okay. There is, by the way, biblically, okay, do you believe in the Bible?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Have you ever read it?
No, ma'am.
You haven't? Girlfriend! How do you believe in it if you've never read it? Pick it up. It's the coolest book ever. And there's so much financial teaching in it. Everything I've learned about creating wealth is in that book. Everything that I've learned about marriage, everything I've learned about parenting, everything I've learned about business, everything I've learned about solving bad problems in my life that I've created is in the book. It's amazing. It's an amazing book. Okay, in the book, in Deuteronomy, okay, it shows that every 7 years, the way the system was set up is that every 7 years there was supposed to be a debt cancellation year. That every 7 years, the lender was required by law to cancel the debts of the borrower. So everyone started totally a clean slate every 7 years. And if they did not, there was a curse that would go upon those lenders that would not cancel the debt. Some people even died. And so that's where, by the way, bankruptcy, Chapter 7 came from. I'm sorry, Chapter 11, 13, something like that. I can't remember, but it's literally a chapter in Deuteronomy that talks specifically about debt cancellation, and it's actually the law was written in our country based on that particular law. And so every 7 years, that's what's supposed to happen. Just so happens that every 7 years, 49 years, there was the year of Jubilee. And the year of Jubilee was also a debt cancellation year. It was also the freeing of the slaves and returning back to your land, okay? So this is the year of debt cancellation. We're still in it. This is still the year of Jubilee, and this is the year of debt cancellation. I've done a lot of teaching and a lot of training on this. In fact, I had my good friend on this show, Jonathan Cahn. He's an international best-selling author. He's actually a rabbi, a messianic rabbi, and he wrote a book called the Shemitah. And that is the debt cancellation year. It's the year of release. You should get a hold of it. You should watch the show. If you go to our website, DaniJohnson.com, you type in interview with Jonathan Cahn, you'll find it. Listen to it. It's a training on it. We have had so many miracles of our clients who, through the trainings that we've done 2 in the marketplace live trainings about how to step into that debt cancellation situation. And we've had so many miracles. I have a client, first of all, if you want debt cancellation, you got to forgive someone else's debt. If there's anyone that owes you money, forgive their debt. That then puts you in a place for a possible debt cancellation. Tammy Watson, she followed directions. She forgave a 20-year-old debt with only $2,000. She forgave it the night that she heard the message live in Cleveland, Ohio. And then a month later, Bank of America sent her, sorry, not Bank of America, her bank, this is a different client I was thinking of, her bank sent her a statement saying that their $57,000 mortgage was canceled. $57,000 mortgage was completely canceled. So we have countless stories like that. I have another client out of Ohio who had $200,000 worth of debt canceled on them because they had forgiven other people's debts. So, do I think you should declare bankruptcy for $60,000? No. Do I think you should learn the war on debt system and get serious about it? Yes. Do I think you can pay off the $60,000 worth of debt fast? No question. We have thousands and tens of thousands of testimonials of our clients using the war on debt system to pay off all of their debt and becoming debt-free. So you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Don't even go the route of bankruptcy. Those business people, that was their thing. You can attack this thing and start creating wealth. And by the way, did you learn anything from the experience?
Gosh, I learned quite a few things from that experience.
Isn't that awesome? So what that means is that your experience, you paid for it. That's what you always have to make every business failure a learning experience. You make that sucker pay you. Do you understand? You make it pay you. You got your education, girlfriend. That's all that is. That debt that you have, that's a business education. Make sure you and your husband write down the 3 most important things that you learned out of that business deal that you will never have to learn again and that you can prosper from moving forward. Okay? Good job. Good job. All right. God bless you. Okay, next we've got Megan McCallum from Maryland. Megan, how can I help you?
Yes, Dani. Actually, me and my husband were just talking about this today, about our financial situation. We did the war on debt, and I just literally read your Feed Your Family on $100 a week because I was falling behind and I wasn't sure how to do it.
Yep.
So I reread it, and it seems like we donate and we pay our bills and we spend less than $100 on our groceries.
Good
but
job.
it still seems like we still fall short on making our paycheck last.
Okay, well that simply means that your expenses are too high. You're letting. How much money do you guys make?
About $2,800 a month.
That's awesome. And how many kids are there?
0.
Oh my gosh, girlfriend, get your butt over here. I'm taking my belt off. I'm gonna whip your butt. $2,800 a month for 2 people? And hold it.
Yeah.
You're spending $100 a week on 2 people for food?
Right.
I spend $100 a week on 6 people.
I know.
Hello, girlfriend. You know what you're supposed to
know.
do. You better start following directions. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do with your life? Discover your own answer. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org.
My name's Erin Hudson, and I'm from Huntington Beach, California. You know, I just have to share with you, I never thought I'd be up here in a million years, and I have to tell you, my story is not my story. My story is to help each one of you, to give you a little bit more hope. And as I share with you my story, I apologize up front, I get really emotional. We have been through hell and back. And I share this with you again to really give you hope, okay? Prior to coming to First Steps, we had filed for bankruptcy in 2010. I was a broken woman. My marriage was in a downward spiral. My kids were completely out of control. My business ruled my life night and day. And then I found Dani Johnson. Since attending First Steps to Success in July of 2012, my marriage has been restored. My kids are now the most respectable, loving children to one another and to their parents. We never traveled anywhere. We now travel around the world and have traveled with many of you that we consider close friends. We've gone to Belize the last 2 years, and I've been able to share with my children and show them how to serve others that are in more need than any of us happen to be. On top of that, our biggest accomplishment yet, I would have to say, is last month we paid off the last of our debt, and we paid off in the last 2 years and 2 months, $892,000. Wait, hold on, and some cents. $892,522 of debt, And we are now officially business and personal debt free. I have to say, this core report that Dani's going to equip you with today is going to change you. You're going to become a phenomenal champion communicator. And just with what she's going to teach you this afternoon, we're projected to hit $1 million. And I know it's because of what she's going to teach you in this next portion. And without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce my mentor and coach, America's favorite millionaire, Dani Johnson.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
You have to get serious about knocking your debt out. You cannot have excuses. You have to get deadly serious about it. All right? Bottom line. We're talking about finances, your finances today, and your financial vision. We've got Gwen Quarles from South Dakota. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi.
Hi. We got about 1 minute before I have to wrap up the show. So what can I help you with, love?
Well, me and my husband are military.
How many kids?
One on the way, just one in my belly.
Awesome. And?
Well, all his loans are about $800 a month that we're paying on.
Okay.
It's a house mortgage. Well, of course, like our finances are really struggling right now. And I don't really know how to get rid of the debt or make our money last. Or anything like that.
Have you ever heard of war on debt?
Yes.
And do you own it?
No.
Why not?
I don't know.
Do you want to pay off the debt and become completely debt-free?
Yes.
Well, it would seem to make sense that you do exactly what Summer and her husband Chad Tucker did several years ago. 4 years ago, they heard about war on debt. 4 years ago, they plugged into First Steps to Success. Her husband's military, and for 10 years, she barely ever saw him, and he did not know his 3 children because he did several tours across the world. While her husband was gone, actually, she used war on debt without him knowing, and they managed to pay off $100,000 worth of debt in 3 years. They are completely 100% mortgage debt free, student loan debt free, credit card, car debt free. Summer Tucker and her husband also managed to start a business that today they're making over $60,000 a month now. They went from the poverty-stricken military income to, having a completely different life. He since has retired from the military, obviously, and they're completely debt-free. War on debt, girlfriend. Write this down, okay?
Okay.
DaniJohnson.com. Gwen, you're young. Your husband's young. You guys have the beautiful ability of creating wealth, yes, on a military income. You have the beautiful ability of not living like your parents did or his parents did. You have the beautiful ability of that baby that is inside of you not growing up in a household that is stressed out about money and always fighting about it. You have the beautiful ability to take your next step to change the rest of your life. DaniJohnson.com, click on Shop, find War on Debt. Click on it. Get a hold of it today. The other thing I want you to get a hold of is First Steps to Wealth. There's 2 chapters inside of this book that will also help you and gird you up with the knowledge and skill you need to pay off your debt. War on Debt, First Steps to Wealth. Get them both today, and you will be the next military story that I'm talking about. This is Dani Johnson. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Be sure to tell a friend about the Dani Johnson Show. It just might be the key to the breakthrough they need. This has been the Dani Johnson Show. Join us every weekday at 7 a.m. for more insights that will help you get to the life you've always wanted.